Yes, I'm here. I'm here, but the game is not because I was playing a different game called Minecraft. Not that. That. Pick it up. There it is. It's a little cold in my house. I'm trying to keep myself covered on my neck and everything. There we go. Anyways, we're going to continue with the letter now that we're playing as Luke. Additionally, I don't know how long or how far. Oh, I forgot we were literally right here. How some adorableness to start off the stream. Adorableness. It doesn't last, I'm assuming. And if you hear background noise, A, it's my ice maker, or B, it's my AC.
Mommy, what happened? You were wiggling and shaking, and you wouldn't stop even if I was shouting.
What a hoarse voice. Is he sick?
I'm so sorry I shouted at you, Mommy.
Shh, don't cry. My little ball of sunshine's not supposed to cry, is he? Don't you worry. Mommy is just a little sick, but she'll get better. I've got a new job now, and I can get medicine again, okay? And we'll buy some bread pudding, too, while we're at it.
His mom was a prostitute, if I remember right. Cute, cute, cute. Very cute there. What was it? Some of those bad habits led to an early grave. Oh, it was his biological father who came back for him, not a I thought it said a random businessman with no heir came for him, and I was like, that's really weird. Yeah, so maybe this is when she was dying? I don't know.
Please don't do that again, Mommy. It's scary.
So, did his mom have seizures too, which is why he's freaked out so badly seeing his wife get attacked by the ghost, but he thought it was a seizure?
You've got nothing to fear. But you have to be brave too, Lucille. Even when I'm not around. Be brave.
Against a demon! Hello? Heart in my throat? Is it just because I'm stressed out, or is it a demon? I choke back a scream and wake up in cold sweat. With my heart pounding in my ears, it takes a while to remember where I am. Yeah. Hello? In the dark, what the heck is this angle? I don't like this angle at all. In the dark and cold of the room, one can't fault me for feeling ill at ease. It isn't as bright as the penthouse, and renovations did little to change how old it feels. We've been here for less than a week, but it'll take more time to adjust. It's hard to feel cozy, though, when I'm bloody freezing. Nudging the lump of fabric next to me, I sigh.
It's cold. Don't hug the sheets, Hannah.
You're even in a suit. How are you cold? She always did this, though it hardly bothers me. Growing up, I was lucky to have something to use as a mattress. I'm not the one who grew up accustomed to Egyptian cotton with a thread count of 800. Besides, the warmth that Hannah exuded on her own is usually enough to keep me sleeping through the night. The temperature tonight must be something else with how chilly it is right now. Or it's the ghost in your room. I must be considerate. After all, the poor dear is ill, and I loathe to think about what just transpired.
Don't make me pull those sheets off you. Oh, that blanket is large enough to cover an elephant. You need to share.
It takes a while.
What was that, honey?
I don't think she's in bed, yeah.
Apologies. I'm just in the loo, so if you can give me a moment.
There's no sign they'll be moving where they lie. With care, I go for a knife hidden under the side of my bed. It would be foolish of me to investigate anything while I'm unarmed. To pull back the covers would be a more difficult affair, because reaching out to uncover who was underneath, I'd have to prepare for anything and assume the worst. If I so much as see the nozzle of a gun, it's going to be a murder tonight. I know they say not to bring a knife to a gunfight, but I think I can sink a blade in his liver faster than he can point and aim. I see the rise and fall of the bed sheets, though it could easily be mistaken as the fault of a breeze. I hear their breathing. Oh my god, it is the ghost in bed with him. That's disgusting. Girl, get out of my bed, okay? Get out of my bed. A great sense of foreboding comes over me, making me hesitate with my plan. I should just get Hannah and get myself out of here, not look back and let security handle it. Honestly, yeah, that's a smarter plan. That's what they're there for. Or maybe I should just man up. There's no way I'm risking that chance that inaction will put Hannah in danger. But what's the worst that could happen, right? I have no reason to be afraid. There's no boogeyman. There is a boogie woman. Oh, under the bed. No monster in my closet. If anything, these things should be afraid of me. Right? Right? I grab a fistful of sheets and throw them to the side. Do I hit space? Oh, I see the eyes. I saw the eye. I saw her eyeball. Oh my god, that was terrifying. That just one little eye and that was it. Nothing. Nothing but a bunch of pillows stare back at me. Must be my imagination. I'd rather not think I'm going mad. It could very well be the stress getting to me, all this drama with Hannah. I have been doing well all these years, things considered. I guess I just have a breaking point, but still the world goes on even if one cannot, and I must go along with it. I suppose a day or two off tomorrow wouldn't hurt. Rest aside for a few hours and sleep will come. More than. But I can't shake off the unease. I dare say that I feel afraid, irrationally so, and that something will come creeping and crawling from under the bed, even as I lay down and close my eyes. It might. Wow, we jumped ahead? Oh, wait, no, that was Saturday, actually. That's right. Because, yeah, Saturday is when she had her little seizure thing, whatever. And then now it's Sunday. We're catching up really quick here, which is hilarious because this is a huge story. Oh my god, where am I? I've barely made it anywhere. Anywhere. What are these other options? I feel like, is this like good route or bad route? I don't know. He better not kill Hannah. I did so much to keep her alive. The only thing I could have done better is if I played as Isabella and changed one decision she made to make their relationship better. So I swear to God, if he kills Hannah, I'm gonna be pissed. But with the morning comes another disturbance, both too loud and sharp. Oh yeah, Zach is here, and I have a very fine taste. With a piercing ring to the doorbells that reaches even the bedroom, I'm very much inclined to think the person who built this place lacks any sense of it. Perhaps the only good thing in this ruckus has chased away the needling guilt from last night's commotion, if only temporarily. Still, it's a bloody annoying distraction. I can tell already that it's going to be a long day, and it hasn't even started. Before the racket even lasts another minute, I'm peeling myself off the bed and heading straight for the main door. There will be murder today if this doesn't let up. How quaint. It seems everything in the blasted universe is intent on getting on my nerves as of late.
Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour.
Gordon Bennett. In the first place, I shouldn't be the one doing this. This is why I hired a valet, for fuck's sake.
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
Great question. I'll be honest, if only for today, with the mansion this quiet at this hour of the morning, it's easy to believe those ghost stories might be real. But the only horror here is the news that Hannah has brought forth yesterday and the very idea of me being a father. Neither the deafening silence nor the biting chill spreading across every room in the place. My wife is pregnant, bloody bollocks. There's no place for fear when another set of problems already burns that fuel. So I wait another second. When no butler still answers my call, I simply yank the doors open myself. Perhaps with more force than needed. And maybe it should be appropriately there, considering the person on the other side of, and the hour he dared appear on my... What on earth? Considering the person on the other side and the hour he dared appear on my doorstep. That's a weird sentence. Even someone with half a brain knows not to disturb anyone this early. Brief confusion quickly gives way to anger before the bloody photographer can even get a word in. I'm hurling venom at him. It's less than he deserves, really. Hannah will disapprove and scold me for treating the photographer with such disrespect if she hears me right now. She seems fond of him after all, despite meeting him only once or twice. He's merely doing his job, she'll say, but she's not here, isn't she? What she doesn't know...
How the hell did you get in here?
Wait, no. No. Exit, exit. Click, click, click. I don't like this story update. It's basing it off of relationships, and I don't know why. Ugh.
What in seven hells do you want? It's bloody 6 in the morning.
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
It's not.
Oh, it's not a good time. Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't.
This is still my home. My rules also apply to this place as much as Hannah's do. Simple as
Unlike
that.
you, the ones living in this house need to sleep.
It just so happens it's also a person I will never take a liking to. No need for
Come
remorse.
back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
He continues shouting even as I slam the door in his face. Some nonsense about the news lately, though I don't understand most of it. However, with those closed doors muffling the better part of it and with no ears to listen, his tirade doesn't last too long. Eventually he leaves and the silence once again fills the room as it should. In hindsight, maybe I should also call for psychiatric services. He certainly sounds mental just screaming like that. A suspicious man like him left roaming around the immediate grounds, nothing good can come of it. But if his presence will indeed bring a problem, a sign of bad things to come, I'll probably know soon enough. Worst comes to worst, Shulkin will take care of it if need be. It's what I'm paying him for. In the meantime, it's the bigger problem at hand. Oh my god. He knows how to cook? Interesting. Oh my god, there's so many directions this could have gone. Like crap. Maybe this one up here is if they were, she was staying in the... Like, I feel like staying with him and then good relationship or bad relationship, and then if she left him. That could work. Maybe if she left him, he wouldn't have killed her? I don't know. I don't know. There's so many unknowns with this story. Oh, God. Sure, I have a lot of other things I could have done instead, but cooking distracts me, and I do find it relaxing on the rare occasion that I step up to the task. Damn, that's pretty darn good. Damn, he should cook more often and play his piano more often. Maybe he'll chill out and stop drinking himself to death. On the tray, 2 plates of roti paired with spicy beans, boiled eggs, hash browns, and a bacon topped with peppers, corrugattis, and akis? Akis? I don't know what that is. How very British, though. That's a very British breakfast. I can't get back to sleep after my abrupt waking earlier. Although I did think about drinking to get some 40 winks, but I've changed my mind at the reminder that my very pregnant wife is sick in bed. I love my alcohol. What the heck? I hope the live stream is fine. It said that I was offline for a second. I love my alcohol, no doubt, but there are times when even I shouldn't drink. As it is, I'm running on nothing but 2 cups of coffee. The surprise on Hannah's face is apparent the moment I step into her bedroom holding a breakfast tray, but it quickly changes to a look of delight as I place the tray on the bed.
Good morning. What's all this then? Oh, that does smell good.
I made breakfast. In hindsight, I probably should have prepared something a lot healthier for you.
It's fine. It's only 3 months. Give her the calories to bulk up.
Don't you fuss. This is absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm.
A little grease isn't going to kill me.
Well, the ghost might, though.
It's like forever since I last had your cooking.
I don't see what you're so enthusiastic for. You're a master chef. I won't be too mad if you tell Johans to cook something else for you.
Oh my god, I'd be enthusiastic if my husband cooked for me, because I'm the one who cooks normally.
That just means more for me, of course.
I can't wipe the grin off my face when Hannah takes a bite and looks like she's enjoying what I've made. It would be a lie to say that I'm not glad or proud that I can make her happy. Though perhaps I haven't been able to do that as of late, but Hannah needs me now, and that counts for something, doesn't it?
I don't think I can finish this all.
I
But I
couldn't.
shouldn't I? After all, I am eating for 3.
And I've learned that's a lie. You don't need to eat that much more. At most, when the baby is the biggest in your stomach, you only need 300 or 400 extra calories a day. That's it. And that's if you can stomach it, because I know I couldn't when I was pregnant. I was puking everything up. I feel a terrible pit in my stomach at the reminder. I try to fill said pit with food. Bloody hell, I don't think I'm ready to raise a child, let alone 2 of them. There's nothing else that can be done other than to steel myself for fatherhood.
Speaking of you 3, what did Dr. Hobbs say? How are you and the babies?
That's right, he had the doctor come over after the ghost choked her out
The
last
physician
night.
took some of my blood. I'll go through some other tests tomorrow to make sure we're fine.
I don't think the physician can say she was choked out by a
I
ghost.
know how you hate hospitals, so I asked Johans to drive me there. That way you can have some alone time with Kylie too.
Admit it, you just want to leave me alone with a little tyke without any backup.
Sure.
Don't be like that. You'll do fine, I'm sure. And she'll love spending the day with her fairy godfather.
Of course, I can just look at it like it's practice. I do want to be a good father, right? Not like my own, though. I don't think any practice in being a parent would have helped him. He hadn't cared about a son he sired until he learned that he was ill and was not long for this world. Oh, the dad was ill. I was like, Luke was ill? And even when he did find me, he cared little. Okay, I better be able to up their relationship because they need the help.
I'm just worried about the children, Hannah. I know you can take care of yourself just fine.
Good. I better
You're one
push
tough
this
cookie.
relationship up. Really, push it up. Push it up. I better be able to make up for the stupid decision I made with Isabella because I'm not replaying that.
Look at you, already becoming a great father. One day, when the kids are all grown up, I'll tell them the story of how their dad is being a great big worrywart. Just leave being pregnant to me, alright?
My hand moves to Hannah's stomach, which is yet to grow too much beyond its usual size. There is some pudge. You're a bit pudgy. That's it. hidden well behind her dresses. I'm half expecting to feel something, perhaps a kick. It's a little too early for that. They always talk about how that sensation cements everything, proof of life that goes beyond a growing belly, but of course it's far too early for
Still
that.
can't believe it, you know. I didn't think it would ever happen. We're going to have kids.
Yeah, you'd think he would have gotten himself snipped with how much he didn't want to have kids. I guess not? Or maybe she was on birth control and skipped? I don't know. A shame. I certainly need grounding. It would help me get my head around what's going
How
on.
are you feeling about all of this?
I don't know how I feel, actually. Worry is the first thing to come to mind, and I don't think I'll ever stop feeling that. That's what brought this on, isn't it? And it would be awful of me to say that I'm not happy at the news, excited even. But that all did not stop me from feeling the same fear I had from when Hannah first told me of this. I was so afraid, and still am. I never gave thought into being a father until now, but I'm already afraid of them, for them, not of them. They're gonna kill me one day. For them, their safety in the world they would find themselves born into. I'm afraid for them because of me, the bastard who will be their father. The only consolation that comes to mind is the fact that they'll have someone like Hannah as their mother. Like I told Miss Pink, I never wanted to spawn anything, though I truly did not mean to call a child, even an unborn one, an abomination. Of all the people in this room, I'm the one closest to being a monster after all.
I'm all right. You're good, so I don't see why I shouldn't be. I'm not the one carrying a pair of brats around in my belly, am I? Just think about it. 2 tiny humans are inside of you, and you're going to swell up like a watermelon.
Wow.
If you can get through this, so can I.
She may not even be a watermelon, but yeah. I'm afraid, but the smile Hannah gives me is enough for me to believe that everything will be fine. We eat the rest of our meal in companionable silence, and if I shovel some food off of my plate onto Hannah's, she makes no comment on it.
Come on then, sunshine. Eat up. Can't have any of you starving on my watch now, can I?
I say it in a joking manner, but I'm entirely serious about making sure they don't starve in every sense of the word. I know it is an impossibility to be lacking when it comes to food with how well off we are, but there are other things a person can be starved of. Affection, attention, and I can probably think about a third word that starts with the letter of A, but I digress. What? Is he saying ass? What? Is that really what he meant? Soon enough our plates are clear and I put them away. Or was he saying something else? Or no, I don't know. That felt weird. There's no objection to it either, as a quiet yawn escapes her lips and her eyes start to droop. Indeed, the urge to sleep is high after having a full meal in an inviting bed. But sleep isn't what I want or need right now. I'm quiet as I can be when I make my exit, a tray of food in one hand, which I'm quick to pass off to Johans as soon as I see him.
Look after her. I just need to get out.
Johans, I'm freaking out. Stretch my legs, clear my mind, think. I don't think having screaming, crying babies will give me much time for that once Hannah gives birth.
Is everything all right? Should I be worried?
Everything is good. Really. Best I've ever felt in quite some time, I think.
And not drunk in
Well,
some
I think
time.
that's cause for concern. Shall I expect to find a corpse in need of cleanup?
I can only shake my head and grin, the deadpan delivery both amusing me and making me wonder if he's joking or not. It can easily be half and half. There has been an instance or two where that did happen, but I don't give him an answer, let him keep guessing and step out for a breath of fresh air. Gray skies loom over the horizon, though the sun fights for precious minutes of it, and it gets to stay. I read that so wrong. It'll rain again soon, with the wind bringing along gloomy clouds normal to Luxburn. Until then, it doesn't hurt to be out for fresh air and sunshine. I walk to the gardens, what little of it there is at the moment, and kneel by the daffodils. These are the first things to be brought here and planted at my request, and if nothing else, they brought a sense of peace. They were my mother's favorites. Closing my eyes, I lift my chin up to welcome the light that shines upon me, and for a minute I can imagine myself as one of the flowers, peaceful, blooming, and all too happy to stand in its warmth. Life would be much easier if we were all like flowers, wouldn't it? But I didn't step out here to get all philosophical. I have problems much more practical than figuring out the meaning of life, after all. Too many things have gone on these past few days, and I want to forget about them, even for just a moment.
It's almost All Saints, isn't it? To think I've almost forgotten.
Is that tonight? No, it's tomorrow. Monday is All Saints. It's Halloween. Why do they call it All Saints? Is that a thing? Really? Interesting. I speak the words absent-mindedly. The date means nothing to me, as I neither worship the religion nor have any graves to visit. After all, Mother was never given a proper burial. But it's a date, as good as any, for me to grieve. Otherwise, it would have done so a single day, crippling myself and shutting everyone else out. I can remember how the flames licked at her flesh and how it consumed her body until she was nothing left of ash. Did he really watch as his mom was cremated? I stood there watching with the operator and the social service worker. Jesus, why would they let that happen? Though I could have been left alone for all I cared. I felt alone. It was the most that could be done. No one would attend the funeral of a dead prostitute, let alone pay for it. All that is left of her, proof that she had lived, is her name written in the ledger of Luxbourne Cemetery, a lighter, and me. Oh. Eleanor. Pulling at the lighter from my jacket, I can't stop myself from flicking it open to stare at the flame and to run my thumb over her name. All in all, it isn't much, but it's something. And it'll be wrong of me not to make something of myself when she would have given everything to make sure I can become anything that I want to be.
Feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare right now.
No, you are with a ghost, though, not the nightmare you think.
What I would give to have you here by my side, Mother dear. To see you smiling at me. Alive and as beautiful as ever.
Such mommy
I'm afraid I'm
issues.
starting to forget what your face looks like. I've already forgotten the shade of your hair.
Weird he didn't even have at least a picture. Eleanor Chandler was a wonderful woman, though not everyone would have agreed. He really is very similar to Ash. Both have mommy problems. Not everyone had seen past her occupation, past her vices, and her illness. All they saw was a poor woman who sold her body to make ends meet, and had a bastard son because of it. They didn't see the mother who worked hard to put food on the table for me, the woman who gave and gave and gave to me while expecting nothing in return. She taught me the merits of hard work, but though I loved her so, I worked hard for myself. I would not be foolish, so selfish towards people who would never give back. I learned that from the father who plucked me out of an orphanage for his own selfish gain. I pocket the lighter before I can feel the urge to actually set anything ablaze. Considering my close proximity to the flowers, they would most likely be the victims of arson. Just the thought itself is blasphemous. Nevertheless, that doesn't save them from being picked, just enough to make a bouquet of the things in honor of Eleanor.
Would you be proud of me if you saw me now, Mother? Maybe. You're always so forgiving. No matter what trouble I got into. More than I deserved. Especially now.
It's been a while since I've talked to my mother like this. I've been thinking of both my dear parents for far too much as of late when I shouldn't. I have a future to look forward to and the present to take care of. These memories of the past give me nothing but grief. The life of Lucille Mitchell Chandler should be nothing but a footnote in Luke Wright's non-existent autobiography. It's because of Hannah, isn't it? I worry that she is all too much like Mother, and it scares me, and the thought that I'm turning into my father is even more so. But even if history is so set to repeat itself, I'm not a child anymore, content to sit aside, unable to do anything to help, and too inexperienced to think that the worst wouldn't happen. I have money to buy the best medicines and doctors if need be. She'll get better. She has to. And once we get over this little bump in the road, I can stop worrying. All will be right with the world. Unfortunately, my time alone is cut short, though.
I think those flowers look beautiful, my lord.
It's a fucking ghost!
The parlor, the room where the lady stays for her tea, it could certainly use some.
It's the ghost! The voice is not familiar, though I'm not really one to remember such things. Oh my god! Small talk achievement. It's the goddamn ghost! She likes him. She really likes him. It's really creepy how much she likes him. Going with her attire, I'd say she's one of our housekeepers. Why is he just gonna assume that? Wouldn't you have double-checked out your staff? I don't know. Strange considering I've sent all the staff but Johann's away. See? This is just strange. Why is he okay? And her face, as pretty as it is, it's unfamiliar to me. It would be a lie if I said that I didn't set me on edge. Thank you. Most would say that I cared little for my employees, and that isn't entirely untrue. However, I'd like to think I know the people who work for me. Thank you for not being an idiot, especially those who would roam my home, even if it's a face and a name. Besides, I would remember a beauty such as her. So who is this? Is she someone impersonating a household staff to get in? She's doing a bad job of it.
Didn't you get the memo? Are you new? Today is a day off. You aren't supposed to be here.
Thank you. I expect poor excuses and apologies the likes of her often give, but she merely smiles.
Oh, no. I've been a servant here since you first came.
Literally, 1600. And I see no signs of lying, nor hear it in her words, yet they can't be true. But I find that I feel like I can relax. Don't listen to the ghost. She has that sort of smile that makes one kindness shine through without words or action. It reaches her eyes, filling them with a strange sort of mirth, as if she's just thought of something very funny. Perhaps had it been any other person, I would have interpreted it as a deceitful grin. But the curl of her lips and the shine of her eyes are too soft to hold any malice. She takes my silence as a sign she can continue, and it's not like I feel any urgency to stop her. I'm not really in the mood for company, but I'm not adverse to it at the moment either. Entertaining a beauty like her even for a little while wouldn't hurt. It helps that she proves easy to listen to despite how oddly she
I'm
speaks.
sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have bothered you. Look at me, talking to the master of the house without even asking for permission. What will the others think?
This is so sus,
if you'll
dude.
excuse me, I'll just...
I haven't driven you away yet, have I? And it's your day off. I don't see why we can't chat a bit.
Of course. If that is what you wish. As long as it does not get you into trouble with the lady. To even take time for someone as lowly as me. No wonder that everyone under the mansion's employ is so fond of you. Though it should have no longer been a surprise to me. You have always been such a kind and loving lord.
Does this ghost seriously think that the guy she was in love with just got reincarnated 400 years later and it's her lucky day to haunt him? Because that's weird. I had to stop myself from calling her out on her shite. Honestly, yeah. It's almost as if she's talking about an entirely different man, because she is. You're not nearly... The personality is totally different. No matter how big my ego gets, I know for a fact that I'm hardly in the running for Best Boss of the Year award. The only reason that most of my staff stay is because of the decent compensation. I'm not cheap. But if she wants to lay it on thick, I'll allow it. Who wouldn't want a beautiful woman complimenting
I'm sure
them?
she'll be fine with this. We are just talking after all. Unless you had other things on your mind when you approached me.
The words leave my mouth before I realize what I've said. I panic a bit, though I can get away with picking up women out in the city, sometimes even out of the county. I've always taken care not to do so in my home or in my business. Not when it'll be so easy for Hannah to find out about my infidelity through these channels. Though seriously, I still don't see what the big deal about this is. I have an itch I need to scratch.
I know it must be amusing to see a girl flustered for a man of your stature. But please don't say such things, my lord. I saw you alone and simply thought you could use some company.
Damn! Thankfully, and I do count my lucky stars, it seems the woman took it as a joke, rather than the casual pass it was intended to be.
So how are you liking your work around the mansion? The place is wonderful, but I imagine the upkeep is ungodly with all the rooms and whatnot. I don't even want to think about how many people are on the staff roster.
Work is work, my lord. It is a way of living. A purpose from day to day. It is certainly far better than doing nothing or having the house itself.
Oops,
is
my
also
bad.
beautiful. There's no lack of things to look at. I'm sure you've seen those books in the study. I can't read any of them yet, but if given the chance, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be thinking of those things. Especially when the rains, they might bring more work to us soon. It will definitely be much more difficult when it returns. Idling about is the least I should be doing.
I guess you can put it that way if you want to be brutally honest about the whole thing. And the rain shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully. Maybe.
If a little dreary, at least she doesn't beat around the bush. I like the honesty. Many would bemoan their status as household staff, as a janitor or other menial role, and believe themselves to be for greater things. And I would not begrudge the idea that one can always get better, but one shouldn't be so discontent with what they have
The rain is
either.
something I simply must get accustomed to, if I am to live here. I've not spent long in this place after all, but I have been told that it has rained in this nation since a mother's time, and their mother's time.
What a terrible way of speaking. How does he not, think this is
There
really
little
weird?
we can do about it. I am just glad to have time in the sun, even for a short while.
Isn't that the truth? Really, these sunny days have been welcome, though I can't imagine they'll last for long.
This is a weird idea, but is the ghost normal when it's sunny, but when it rains, she's evil? That's a very weird theory, but I'm throwing it out
Sometimes
there.
I just want to pack my things and leave for somewhere like, say, the Bahamas or whatnot. Get some sun and surf.
But certainly, you will return for us, won't you?
Baby,
This
come
is your
back!
home, after all. Your people. They won't be pleased if the master of the house leaves.
Of course, I can't very well leave my businesses hanging here, can I? I just wish I could actually trust people enough to go on vacation without taking work with me. I've also got to get back here if I ever want proper meals. A proper pudding is something you'll never find out there.
The woman nods in understanding, and I must say that she makes for a fine listening ear, though what she says next gives me pause, whether she meant for me to hear it or
And
not.
good tea. From what the cook has been telling me, I've yet learned how to prepare one. Perhaps once I do, it would endear the lady of the house to me. I never expected her to be so unkind after what she did for me. Though it's only if one catches her in a foul mood. I wish I knew how to avoid her anger.
It's like she's stuck on repeat. Like Hannah has only been here for a week. I highly doubt she means Hannah. The woman rarely has a mean bone in her body, and when she actually is nasty towards someone, it usually is deserving enough, much like what happened with the Rochelle woman. Hell, she even tolerates Harvey for me, even if she did admit she doesn't quite like the man. She must mean the head housemaid, right? I have to laugh at that. Not that I have room to speak. I don't deal with her myself anymore, though even Johann says a few choice words about the head hag. She's just been under the right employee when she was also a head housemaid for my father. And if anyone's not going to get along with someone, it'd be that crotchety? What is that word, old woman? I don't even remember her name, but the woman had been this strict upstart bitch who took one look at me, her master's bastard son, turned her nose up as if she were better than the mere consequence of birth. That, and she absolutely loathed my very existence. Perhaps the rumors had been true. She had a miscarriage while bearing another one of dearest father's children, and she saw me as an obstacle to her being granted a better standing in life. I remember that much, at least. The only reason I haven't sacked her yet is because of her competence. Also because working under my household makes her absolutely miserable. Her resignation made it impossible by her pride.
Nobody really gets along with that woman. I think everyone just tolerates her because of how old she is. I mean, not to be rude or awful or anything, but she's at the age where she'll be pushing daisies soon enough.
Why would you be so okay with this conversation and just assume that you guys are talking about the same person?
Is she? Really, my lord? I'm sure the lady is much younger than that.
Oh my god.
I think the thought of tormenting the young and beautiful gives her reason to live.
It does seem that way. Though I feel sorry for her. One's life should not be wasted away on hatred and anger. It is never good for the heart or the head to always carry ill thoughts.
And what about your dead ghost body?
At the least, you are here for us. We are certainly so lucky to have a lord like you. The lady even more so. The gods smile down on her. Though, if I may be honest, she is to be envied.
Even when I have my suspicions about her, she's just so easy to talk with that I've forgotten. I don't know who she is, and if she's actually one of the household staff, that would explain why she would so easily give obviously wrong statements about my character. Though if she is here for malicious reasons, she would have done more than do small talk with me by now, wouldn't she? She did try to choke your wife out last night, but you don't know that yet. I have so many questions. Perhaps curiosity will kill this cat, or you.
It's strange that I've never seen you before. What's your name?
You do not remember?
I don't believe you've mentioned it, or am I missing something?
You still cannot comprehend it. Can you, my lord?
Her answer chips away at the good mood that I'm starting to get into. I have every right to be angry at the cryptic response. She threatens insubordination with her very presence alone. But instead of hurling vitriol at the woman, I take a deep breath. I do not want my mood ruined further than it already is. Not right now when I can let my temper take its course another
Whatever
time.
your name is, and no matter how long you've been working for us, that does not change the fact that you shouldn't be here. I'll call you a cab to bring you to the city if you want.
Shouldn't I? What if I do not wish to leave?
The music change is not approved right
I
now.
merely desire to stay by your side and serve. Is that such a deplorable thing?
Her gaze sends chills down my spine. It fucking should. It's too easy to see the devotion, the obsession, again, obsession, that word's thrown around a lot, in her eyes. Not the good sort either, as her scrutiny makes me feel like I'm laid bare. The offense of her presence is all the more palpable with the feeling of bugs crawling on my skin, and the silence that it makes it seem as if the world has stopped. Any friendly atmosphere we might have had going for us is completely forgotten. Danger, a small part of the back of my mind screams, the part that has kept me alive all these years. And in hindsight, I'd be stupid not to take heed of it. But I've grown arrogant, complacent, and content to hide behind wealth and power.
Yes, it's a deplorable thing, as you said, because I'd like to be alone now. Thank you very much. If you didn't want the day off, you should have reported to your superior. This is utterly unprofessional of you, and I shall be issuing complaints. In fact, if you know it's good for you, you should start looking for another employer.
God, you're gonna fire her? It's at my threat that the smile on her face turns
I
tight.
see. It escapes you still. This is unfortunate.
You'd think she really thought that he'd just get memories of another man? Like, he didn't even... The guy she was in love with who died all those years ago because the lady of the house killed him for having an affair with the dead ghost maid. He didn't even have kids, according to any records. They said the bloodline stopped with both of them. So how could he have even had anyone similar to him? Let alone, unless she really believes in reincarnation. Do they believe in reincarnation? If you're from Japan? Because that's where she was from. I don't remember, but it's still weird.
How despairing that this misery must go on. But maybe, if you come with me,
No.
I can help you. I can.
When she reaches out for me, I recoil with a hiss.
How dare you lay your filthy hands on me without my permission? I am not going anywhere with you. Now step back and walk away before I have you forcibly removed.
Oh my god! I gotta screenshot that, print screen it. New unread text. What happened? Skip interrupted. As if a switch had been flipped, the woman's expression turns horrific. Although that may very well be the understatement of the century, she herself turns horrific. Her presence is suffocating, bearing down on me. I'm rooted to the spot with no fault of my own as my fear paralysis. What on earth is this statement? Sorry, I have to make sure that I save that photo because my webcam... Nope, undo that. There we go. My webcam is covering her face, and I'm probably going to use that for the thumbnail after I'm done with this.
You are too much like that vile woman.
Jesus!
Poisoned by her rotten influence and her filthy words. But that can be remedied now that you're here. Oh, how we have waited to welcome you home. Come, my lord. The house beckons.
How about no? When her fingers grasp the back of my coat, I finally find it in me to break off into a run. Peace! Can we not with their stupid updates, Windows? I can still feel her eyes on me as I run back to the house, but I refuse to acknowledge it, let alone look back. All I need to do is get away from her to make sure she stays away. If that means acting like a coward and seeking out company to keep me safe, nobody can tell me to do otherwise. Bravery isn't something to be lauded if it comes along with stupidity. Fair statement. It must have been the sight, to see the usually composed and reserved Luke Wright bursting through the doors. Not that I have much audience, unless there are other staff members who's chosen to disregard my orders for them to leave. Really, I still doubt that woman is one of the staff. Mustering up the courage, I look back through the windows to see if she followed me. She's gone, but I don't take any chances, putting as much distance as I can between us. Stopping to catch my breath, Johan's sudden appearance nearly makes me jump out of my skin.
Don't fucking do that!
I agree
You
with that.
son of a bitch! If I had a gun, I would have shot you!
Luke is so freaking funny.
If I had any love left for my Mutter, I'd take offense.
Life? Is that what Mutter
happened
means?
to you? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Because he did. Oh, if only that were such a delusion. But I can still feel her sharp nails digging into my back. The feeling was too real for it to have been a ghost.
There was his housekeeper. I think, I'm not sure. In the gardens. She was acting odd, and I thought to remove myself from the scene.
That's a cute drawing of her.
Strange. I made sure the rest of the staff had left and that the house was empty, as you requested. Describes this woman.
She was She had pale skin, dark eyes, and long dark hair. She wouldn't give me her name.
I half expect a name from him. The man knows the staff better than I do, after all. But instead of an answer, he grows quiet. I'm pretty sure that's not a good thing. I'm even more worried when the other man looks me over. I have to protest when he pulls back my collar.
What the bloody hell are you doing?
Checking for marks. Needle marks, to be exact. We don't have anyone like that among the staff. You could have easily been kidnapped.
Okay. A cold feeling settles itself over me at the thought. I've long established my power over the more unsavory characters in Luxborn, or I thought I did, and the most harm I thought that could come to me would be slander, robbery, or incarceration. Kidnapping? An attempt on my own person. I've forgotten that I'm as human, as mortal as any other man despite my wealth and
Fortunately,
status.
you look unharmed. But I advise that you be accompanied by trusted individuals at all times from now on. If not me, an assigned guard. I'll be informing them of this soon, as they return from their day in the city.
Already I can feel the energy leave me with the realization of what could have been.
All right. Yes, I suppose we should do that. But I think I'd like to call it a day. I should be safe in bed, yes?
You think, but she was in bed with you last night.
I'll stand guard outside for the night. The madam has been inquiring about you, by the way.
A guard, any other threat than he alone would be enough to make me feel safe. But what I saw, whatever it is I saw, would one man be
That's
enough?
all well and good, but there's something else. That housekeeper, she...
Luke, you're home. I was worried about you.
It's literally just outside. The grin that I can muster is probably lopsided, forced as I snap my mouth shut to keep myself blabbling about witches and monsters. Because here I am standing in the hallway, dirt on my pant legs and sweat dotting my forehead. A far cry from the usually pristine condition. I don't want to worry Hannah. A
What
cough.
happened to you? You look like you wrestled in the mud and moss, dear. And those flowers. Were you gardening?
What? Oh, these. I didn't realize I still had them.
I really did not. But there they are, still in my grip, the daffodils I had taken from the garden. Even in the wake of my flight, I had refused to let go of them, whether I was conscious of it or
Shall
not.
I put them in a vase?
In a vase? Give them to Hannah or throw them away? You're gonna give them to Hannah. You're gonna flirt with your wife a little bit. Did they make the perfect amount of save slots so you could save before each and every decision? Did the game really do that? Because, damn, that's attention to detail. Yes, keep going up and up, my pretties. Perhaps I did it to save face, or I'm not offline, internet, seriously? Or maybe a small part of me really had planned to take them to her. But like a young man presenting flowers to a Valentine's, I awkwardly thrust the bouquet in Hannah's
They're
direction.
for you.
These are lovely, thank you. But aren't these?
The surprise is to be expected, and the open-ended question needs little interpretation. I've never given her daffodils before, especially not from the ones that I considered mine.
They're for you. Don't make me think that kneeling around in the dirt was a waste of...
Just, are you feeling all right? I hope whatever I have isn't contagious.
I mean, technically it's a ghost, so yes?
I'm not sick, Hannah. I just got them for you. I thought they'd make you feel better, brighten up the room. I don't need my intentions questioned. The thank you was enough.
And I didn't mean to insinuate anything. But you are right. Thank you, truly, for these.
She takes them from me then, carefully not to crush the stems. There is still uncertainty on her face, which endears and annoys me in equal parts. But she does look lovely with them, the very picture of something that should be immortalized in paint. They should be for Mother, but it doesn't matter
Why
anymore.
don't we turn in for the night? You must be exhausted with all that gardening.
And ghosting, literally. What does a dead woman care for flowers? You mean the ghost? No, I'm kidding. ... Monday! We're catching up quite quickly. Really little sleep was had, and I feel completely drained come morning. Even when Hannah rises from bed in spite of a mild fever and invites me down to breakfast, I can't be bothered to drag myself out from the comfort of the sheets. It's not like I need to do something particularly important today. Oh, so my theory about the rain making the ghost bad and the sun making the ghost good was total bullshit, because she just got angry randomly, clearly. I took the middle route. I went the top route. Now we're in this route. Looks like that's a relationship update or based on who's dead or not update. The rain that has started sometime during the night doesn't help the mood. Okay, maybe it helps just a little. The strange sunny weather has been nice and all, but for it to return as it should be be feels like a good sign of things to come. They need more commas. Perhaps things will settle back to normal and the crazy drama that has gone on lately will die down. The rhythmic pitter-patter of the rain fills the early morning silence with a steady beat. Thank goodness I don't have to be anywhere in a hurry today. I would hate to be caught unawares in this rain. With how it looks outside, it seems the weather is making up for all the sunny days it has given us with good old-fashioned downpour. It does let up within a quarter of an hour. However, a day beginning with cloudbursts like this, locals usually take it as an immediate sign. Luxburn's abysmal weather is back, likely for good. ... I hope they did a damn good job of fixing this place, because I'd rather not have to deal with leaky roofs. Though Hannah might find humor in it, perhaps ask me to sing in the rain to wear out my anger, I don't like the idea that the realty did such a horrid patch job with the place. Why did it stop raining? Well, Hannah technically paid millions for this place. It better live up to the price that the realty company sold it for. Not that it's something she would be fretting about at the moment, when her health's not at its best. Hannah is going to be brought to the hospital for a checkup today, and if anything, I prefer that she's focused on getting better. That fever, no matter how slight it is, can't be good for the unborn children after all. Perhaps a proper test is all she needs, but I'd rather not assume things. I'm a businessman, not a doctor. Wonder of wonders why I even bother agreeing to babysitting duty at that. Making sure that the audio is correct. Kylie. But here I am, scheduled as today's babysitters for the Suarez brat once her father drops her off at the mansion steps. Though that is worry for much, much later. If I wish to, I can ask that nobody bother me while I doze off in a cocoon for comforters. But as always, somebody has to be a buzzkill.
Are you really going to stay in bed all day?
What do you want? It's far too early to deal with your nosiness.
You must have been really rattled by what happened yesterday. If you need to talk about it, I am quite qualified in that regard.
And you aren't even the slightest bit bothered. Truly, not even the slightest bit worried?
I was worried. But I realized that it's not my life in danger, is it?
At least he's honest.
My worrying will not help matters. Neither will yours.
Loath as I am to admit it, he's right. The whole thing might have rattled me, but there is little point in jumping at every shadow I see from the corner of my eye. I shouldn't lose my head for a threat that might not even come. I should know better by now. But I have never been this worried about a possible threat on my life before. I'll be honest here. If anyone is in danger, it's Hannah, and I can take care of myself just fine. With security tightened, I'll have at least one guard, if not 5, making sure nobody gets within 10 feet of me without my say-so. Hannah, on the other hand, is pregnant and will be away for most of the day. It is a small relief that Johans will be with her.
Are there any updates about the woman?
Being the dark has me on edge. Information, any at all, may very well help me calm
I've
down.
already briefed security about her, and more from the agency will be arriving tonight. But they haven't seen anyone fitting the description.
Oh, scared my dog. He ran away.
So you have nothing then? Fat lot of use you guys are. What do I even pay you for?
Fair question.
Do me a favor. There's the door. Don't let it hit you on your way out.
Well, there is something. It's about McCulloch.
She disappeared? And anyway, does she have her own car? Did she leave it in their parking lot? Can anybody blame me if I show the tiniest bit of interest? She's still not done with the house, and she's a nice enough woman. Plans to go back to sleep are gone.
I called her secretary about taking the day off. He hasn't heard from her over the weekend.
She's in your basement.
She's probably passed out after enjoying a pint or 2 or 10 in a bar somewhere. She's an adult. It was the weekend. She's allowed to disappear and not think about work. Fuck. I wish I was passed out after a night of drinking. He does know that mobiles are a thing.
That's all well and good, but she's not answering her mobile either. Mr. Parker will be filling a missing persons case with the police if she doesn't turn up today.
Certainly someone must know where she is. Tabs are kept without fail on people who come to work with me. Background checks and constant surveillance until they finish their contracts with the rights. Some would say that it's a bit over the top. Oh yeah, I don't know why I was assuming she looks good in the daylight versus the rain, because even Marianne has seen the ghost, but the ghost has been pretending to be the girl that Marianne was in love with way back when. But I can't be too safe. Too many want me
What
dead.
about one of ours? Has anyone seen her? She's pretty hard to miss with how tall the woman is.
The last anyone has seen of her was here, the morning of the party. Your housewarming party.
That isn't good news.
It wouldn't do for the police to hear of this. and to suspect.
It's sus, man. It's of little important that I can easily prove my innocence. It's all a matter of principle. Because even the accusation of a misdemeanor should not stain my reputation, although maybe it is a bit too late to hope for a squeaky clean one. Besides, it'll be such a hassle to have the police poking around the house looking for a body that doesn't exist.
Now, if we're done here, I'd like to go back to sleep and...
Kylie! Blue, come lay down. Well, there goes any plans of grabbing some shut-eye. Rolling over on my stomach, I can only scream into my pillow.
Of course. Ugh.
Totally.
Johans, distract her.
Oh, look, it's time for me to go. Have fun with your little play date. So long, farewell, and auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
Is that supposed to be the song? So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
No, Johans, don't you turn away from me. Keep her busy for an hour. Come on!
God damn it, Luke. I have to press my face against the pillow once more to suppress a groan. You can't get loyal help anymore.
Hello there, little Fraulein. Your uncle is just upstairs and will be down in a moment.
This house is terrible with how much you can hear through the walls.
Super excited to have you today. I hope you're well rested and ready to play a lot.
That bastard. I'll be down in a sec, Munchkin. Let me just...
Change into a fresh shirt, brush my teeth, fix my hair, bemoan my very existence. Wish I was anywhere else in the world right now. That feels like such a mood. Just something that you'd find on Twitter. Don't get me wrong, Kylie's a great kid, wonderful, better than most brats her age, but handling a tyke is the last thing I want on my agenda right now with this whole Hannah business. Fortunately, I am well versed in how the world works. I've long learned that the show must go on no matter what hurdles come in my way. So I set to prepare for the day. Running a comb through my hair is just divine and simply makes me feel more human. Bed hair is disgusting, though it isn't as bad now as it was when I was a child. So many wases. With how expensive a trip to the barber's was, I often had to grow it out until Mother had time to cut it for me. The curls and the tangles were simply horrid. Why I was even mistaken as a girl because of that. It certainly doesn't help that I was named Lucille. A freshly pressed shirt is enough to chase away the last signs of sleepiness. The feel of a crisp, clean cloth in my hands is a clear marker to start the day. Smoothing down my suit and hair with a sigh, I steel myself for the horrors. The horrors that come with taking care of a child.
Good morning to you, Luke.
Speaking of the devil, and she shall appear. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed Kylie grins up at me as soon as I open the bedroom door. She swings the backpack she's clutching, hitting my leg in a show of impatience and looking entirely unapologetic for it.
Did you just wake up? Don't tell me you forgot. It's our playdate today.
I doubt I'd forget. Kylie's visits are frequent enough that they found a way into my schedule. They're supposed to be visits to her godmother, but we can't pick out who a child gets along with. So long as I'm not busy, her father can drop her off for the day, which is all well and good for me, but if it makes Suarez focus on the work I've given him. Besides, she's a bright child. Tolerable. Kid's got a good head on her shoulders and can get pretty mature for her age at times. Of course, they have me to thank for that, clearly. Her parents can take partial credit, but Hannah and I have been there for this kid since she was just a small babe. Why, I can still remember the first time I saw her during her baptism. The only reason I was there was to accompany Hannah, who was to be named the godmother. She was such a tiny thing, not even a year old, swaddled in her mother's arm in a white cloth. It was the first time I really saw an infant up close, or close enough to hold one at least. It had been terrifying to be given a little child to carry after a whole watery ceremony. I've never done so before, to hold a tiny life in my arms. I could have just dropped her on her head and this little tyke before me would have stopped existing then and there. But the child just smiled at me, babbling nonsensical words as children do, and clinging to me even as I tried to hand her off to Hannah. She had thought it hilarious and adorable. My suit had been a mess, and I was nearly an anxious wreck by the time I handed her back to her mother. Yet it was pleasant, too, to think I might be doing it again soon with Hannah's children, with our children, kids of my own flesh and blood. In a few months' time, I'll be cradling them in my arms, hearing the ring of their laughters against my ears. It's a tender thing to think about, and despite myself, in spite of all the fears that I will never be good enough for them, I'm actually looking forward to it.
Of course I didn't, you little rugrat. I just had to take care of something before you arrived.
Like crying. Interesting, interesting. 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 I feel like I could just make a whole clip of interesting. I click.
Really? Well, I guess that's fine. As long as it's only for work like last time.
Really? Now, why don't we go back down and have breakfast in the parlor?
I already ate at home. Papa made one of his tortilla de patatas. He wouldn't let me leave until I finished every bite.
Ah, the Suarez infamous tortilla de patatas. Those things are a hazard. And you can probably use one to bludgeon someone into submission with how huge they are. It's a miracle Kylie can still be so energetic. I had trouble staying awake the first time I had one. Speaking of staying
Well,
awake...
I need some coffee in me at the very least. But if you'd like, you can jump straight to dessert.
Yes! Dessert, please!
It's easy enough to manage Kylie with the promise of sweets, thankfully. The hard part is managing her before she gets the sweets, because I nearly have a heart attack when the kid races down the stairs. Just the thought of her slipping and breaking her neck is enough to make me rush down after
Slow
her.
down, the food isn't going anywhere.
The food is going somewhere. In my tummy.
Jesus fucking Christ. Children.
Literally why my eye rolled. With a shake of my head, I ushered Kylie towards the parlor and ordered a maid to bring the food for us. Whatever breakfast there is, along with a cup of coffee for me and ice cream for Kylie. But I can't leave the kid alone for too long unless I want her to turn the other room into a slaughter ground. True to my expectations, I've only left Kylie alone for a few minutes and she's already made herself comfortable. The stuff from her backpack has been left scattered across the room, from coloring books to crayons to toys. She's well equipped to amuse herself with no trouble, though I can certainly breathe a little easier if she wouldn't bring her doll with us every time she visits. Narcissa, or Sissa, is a creepy little bugger. It doesn't help when Kylie left her during one what? I'm finding the thing at the bottom of the stairs staring up at me at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning as a memory that won't be leaving me anytime soon. Yeah, that'd be terrifying. Even now, it stares at me from where it's seated. I'm wholly tempted to just throw the thing into the fireplace and banish it from whence it came. I can buy her a pretty doll, a better toy. I'll break it and find a way to get rid of it if it wasn't from Hannah, and if only Kylie isn't so attached to it. The thing is some antique doll she found for the brat's 6th birthday, one of a kind. My darling Hannah loves her so, and Kylie does try to be a good goddaughter, but she just can't keep her interest long enough with the wife. It's not something Hannah does wrong on her part. She does try so very, very hard. It's just that she doesn't quite know how to really handle children. She's never been around other children when she was young, surrounded by protective adults who catered to her every whim and worried for her safety every minute. So when she isn't able to keep up with Kylie, her first instinct is to be strict, impose rules on the child, and treat her as if she was made of spun glass, like every moment might break her. I at least have some idea from being around street kids. I know the games they've played and how they think. I know that scraps and scrapes, you mean? Isn't there an E there? I don't know. I'm not the best speller. And skin knees are all part of childhood. Even with how I grew up, I had time to be a child and not some sheltered heiress. With Kylie, as behaved as she can be with her toys and books and art, she has to use up all her energy somehow. To run around the playground and make a mess in the mud or two, even just fake wrestle for a short while, let her be a child when she wants, I'll say. If it becomes too much, just bribe her with sweets or ship her back to Papa. Problem solved. Unfortunately, Hannah isn't quite up for those sort of things most of the time, thinking it'll spoil the child. It turns the whole playdate awkward every time. Taking the last seat left, I pluck one of her coloring books from the table and see it filled with dinosaurs. Not exactly what I was expecting for a little girl, but it doesn't hurt anyone. If she wants to play with dolls and cars, or dolls with their cars... What does that mean? What do I care? She once put a doll's tutu on model cars.
Oh, this
Yes.
is a new one. The last one you had was filled with horses, wasn't it?
Those were ponies, Tio. They're much cuter than horses.
Mmm.
We went to a dinosaur zoo, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Siri, dinosaurs are my favorite.
Terry Zeno.
I have no idea what that is, but it must be something. I'm only familiar with the T-Rex myself.
Yeah, they found, fossils on its claws. They're really long. They think the whole theory might be a bazillion meters tall, even bigger than a T-Rex.
A bazillion.
Cisa says it'll be big enough to eat all of my classmates.
It would be. Shilly laughs as I scrunch up my nose and grimace.
Taco says you're making a really funny face.
God, the ghost is here? Shit.
Taco who?
Taco. Taco time.
Takako, a friend I made.
I have to stop and look around expecting one of the help to be there. The child does have a way of befriending just about anyone as long as she puts her mind to it. Yet the two of us are completely alone. Thankfully, she only finds my disturbed look as another funny grown-up expression. That might be a lot more problematic than whether she plays with dolls or cars, though. Both the thoughts of Sissa giving Kylie ideas and one of the said ideas being a massacre by dinosaur. Something I probably need to bring up with her father aside from work. But beyond murderous dinosaurs, creepy dolls, and imaginary friends, I find no trouble with Kylie. She's as energetic and precocious as any tyke her age can be. She's an angel if she can get comfy and settled in and getting her sweets. Ooh, delicious. We tuck into our waffles as soon as the food is brought in. Our waffles, because she wanted her own plate to go with the ice cream as soon as she saw mine. A fresh plate of berries is brought in as well, which really goes great with the rest of the feast, as Kylie puts it. And if I indulge in the sweetness, I have a cup of black coffee to pair it with. With our bellies full, Kylie grows content with just scribbling on a scrap of paper and calmly chatting about her week. She talks about her older brother Rowan and their parents, and how they plan to go to the Bloxland in Berkshire for the winter holidays. She mentions Miss Pink, Rebecca, which I listened to with half an ear. Our initial meeting had been a mess, but I can't quite find myself to listen to stories about her teacher wholeheartedly, the phantom sting in my hand still itching. She talks of the sad man in the park, Zach, and of her new friend who likes to play hide-and-seek when she's not sniffling in the loot, Takako. And finally she finds nothing new to talk about. She goes back to her drawings. That'll change as soon as her stomach settles, of course, the calm before the storm. Because behaved as she is right now, I can feel the curiosity just radiating off of her. There's a restlessness buzzing under her skin and the question at the tip of her tongue, as they often are with children her age. But for now, I can take this piece with no complaint for however long it stays. I have fun with the crayons as well, as the child's insistence, even if I can't really draw. With Kylie using the black crayon, that leaves me with the blue one. I absentmindedly start to draw a puppy to the best of my abilities. It's as I attempt to give a doodle dogs another eye that Kylie breaks her silence.
Where did Tia go? I saw them leave when I got here. Tia didn't look so good.
I've been expecting a lot of different questions. The kid always has a whole bunch of them ready for me, but I can only sigh when she posed this particular one.
She's just going to the doctor's for a checkup.
And as kids go, there are follow-up questions.
You didn't go with her?
Well, you were going to be here, sweetie, so I had to stay behind.
So she's all alone? At the hospital?
Oh, no, of course not. Tia has her Hans and her maid and a guard. She's got plenty of company.
Yeah, but you're not with her.
Kylie's got a point. If I didn't know better, I'd say the kid is trying to make me feel guilty. I want to say that little tyke is evil for making me feel so.
But
so it worked.
I understand. When I get sick, Papa and Mama have to leave me with their maids, too.
What?
Well, they don't take care of you?
That doesn't sound right. Even my mom took care of me when I was as sick as a child. Yeah, I don't like her parents.
Well, they're always busy with work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. I guess that's no good.
Yeah, I know she doesn't mean to accuse me of anything, but as her father's boss, maybe I do overwork Suarez a bit. There's a lot of responsibilities that only he is capable of carrying out. Delegation is a thing, sure, but when said responsibilities are legally questionable, at best, putting others to the task isn't always an option. But
maybe your papa is in need of some vacation time. He deserves it, doesn't he? He's a hard worker. I could arrange something for the holidays.
I could cut him some slack. Some of his assignments can wait. I can't do much for her mom. She isn't one of my employees, but this would have to suffice. It'll be worth it if it just makes this little girl happy, because just like that, the somber look on her face turns into one of pure joy. It's like looking at a little sun, warm and bright. It's nice to do something kind every now and again.
Would you really, Teal?
Would you like that?
I'd like that very much, yeah. We can go to this museum. There's one with lots of cool trains and planes. I like trains.
She can put a lot of skirts on them.
And there's the local Manor theme park and a monkey forest.
Ooh.
There's a kid adventure farm too, the wacky warehouse, and a play barn as well.
Dang.
Whoa, slow down there, Munchkin. I know you're excited, but I think you should let me schedule your dad's day off before you plan a whole year's worth of stuff.
There's an embarrassed giggle, but she does reel herself in enough to calm down, which is a feat in and of itself. It's obvious how giddy she is. And if she wasn't looking forward to the holidays before, like any child should, she does now.
I think Tia would be really happy if you were with her.
You're right.
You could have told me you needed to go to the hospital with her, Teal. I won't be angry.
I'd love to be with her, but I wanted to spend time with you, Munchkin. And she told me to stay. Besides, I don't like hospitals. They always smell like alcohol. Not the good kind either.
That's what to say.
I don't think anybody likes hospitals. They're scary.
They can be, yeah.
But you said Tia is brave and strong.
That she is.
A content silence comes over us as we get back to scribbling, though I stop when I'm done with my blue dog, cringing at how awful it looks. Kylie reprimands me for that because I should be like her. The little tyke goes through several sheets of paper, one drawing after another. Practicizing. Practicizing, she says. Or practicing. Is it really practicing? I'm reading things wrong because practice makes perfect. I can't read. Not to mention there's a drawing contest coming up in class and she just has to beat Tim from Class D, who says girls can't be superheroes. The clay gets a turn too, where we start sculpting food and pretending we're Michelin chefs. When we're too tired from tossing pizza and making cakes, there's no trouble in finding another activity more relaxing for the both of us. I find myself invested in reading the picture of Dorian Gray once more. Often I lose myself in the pages of the book. However, it is rather difficult to do so, and I'm also trying to keep an eye and an ear out for Kylie. I've been reading the same paragraph over and over again. I understand that. Even inexplicably, I can feel my skin crawl when the girl sits with Narcissa by the parlor's fireplace humming and singing. Though I ignore it long enough to hear only the tail end of the song.
Everything is up in flames, up in flames, up in flames. Everything is up in flames, my fair lady.
I'm pretty sure that's not how the London Bridge song goes. I don't think I can spend any more time with Kylie, considering how high-strung I feel, so it's a good thing that Suarez came for her as soon as I've called. Though it is earlier than the agreed-upon time, he voices no complaint. The bastard even has a look of relief as soon as they left. Or at least I interpreted as much from where I stood by one of the windows, not bothering to step out and greet the man. No doubt he still doesn't trust me around his spawn. While he has every right to be suspicious of me, I am a dangerous man after all. But to my jargon, that leaves me with the rest of the day with nothing to do. Well, aside from picking up the mess that Kylie left scattered around the parlor, to my immense relief, she remembered to take her doll home with her this time. But the same cannot be said for the crayons and papers littered are here and there. First things first, I snatch my own doodle off the table and rip it to shreds, leaving no hope that it'll see the light of day. The rest of the drawings, all Kylie's, remained unharmed, and I collect the lot. Though they have been stacked neatly on the table, they must have been blown about when Kylie was off. And there are plenty of them, from cats and cakes to colorful rainbows and gardens. The child managed to make a lot during her morning here. There is one more that I have to fish out of the fireplace where it landed. Expecting to see another one of Kylie's masterpiece, I am instead greeted with something more concerning. Yeah, Takako. There's me, there's Kylie, the two of us side by side and smiling as our stick figure selves stand in a nondescript field. That much I can be certain without looking at the labels below the doodle's feet. But the third figure stands next to me in the drawing. A woman with her face hidden behind a curtain of black. Takako, the writing under her supplies.
Says you're making a really funny face.
One big happy family achievement unlocked.
Takako, a friend I made.
The hairs on the back of my neck stand on end, and I feel a chill go down my spine. A breath. That isn't mine. That has me turning around, expecting, hoping to see someone, anyone, but nothing. And that's when I hear it. Laughter, sweet and merry, ringing from the ballroom. Thinking about it has my cheeks burning and my blood running hot, as if I'm being mocked. As I stump towards the door, I have to stop myself from shouting up a storm. I expect to see some of the help dallying about, idle from their duties. Perhaps they thought they can slack off their duties without the head butler around with my preoccupation with Kylie. Well, they had another thing coming. But again, nothing. Nothing from what I can see in a cursory glance. At the very least, I roam around, looking for near impossible hiding places, and still I am alone. Yet I can still hear the laughter, the accursed laughter echoing about in the room, in my head.
There! Show yourselves and show some respect to the master of the house!
Cold uneasiness settles into my stomach when no one answers, and I stumble on my own 2 feet. A wave of nausea came from nowhere. I have to put a hand against the wall to stay upright when the world shifts and pain explodes from behind my eyes. It takes every ounce of my self-control not to heave then and there. The only thing my pride allowed me to do is close my eyes in an attempt to alleviate some of the pain. Vague, unfamiliar images, dare I say memories, not mine, flash in my head, unbidden and unwelcome. Like a strong hammer strike to the head, threatening to crack my skull and split it in two. Whatever emotions they hold are muted. I have nothing but a spectator. Still, its weight feels palpable, though it doesn't take long for the sensations to get into my head through my eyes and ears. It creeps and buzzes in the spaces between. One after another, they come at me, an unending flood that threatens to sweep me away for what feels like an eternity. Each one a show of both joy and suffering for those who have called the mansion their home. Each new scene is like a hammer to the head, threatening to crack my skull and split it in two. I can feel every little emotion in the blurry images that present itself in my head. I feel a part of these, like I've lived through them, though I know it's not possible. All their anger burns through me, and that much is evident, but the pain more so. And above all of it are the whispers, the voices calling, luring, until one image emerges in vivid contrast with the others. When there's a shout of joy, my eyes snap open looking for the culprit. That's when the whole room just changes, and everything is the same, yet everything isn't. Well, hello. In living memory. There are people everywhere laughing and dancing. This feels like that scene in Anastasia where she goes back to her palace as a kid and she sees the ghosts of everyone dancing. I should be concerned about them, but my mind finds it easy to dismiss them as they fade in and out from nothingness. Instead, I find my concentration drawn to a man and a woman, though one can only call them lord and lady going by their clothes. My God, her hair must have been impossible to take care of. And oh, I see just how happy the couple looks. Though the man's eyes are eerily blank, like he's not all there, his face is familiar, though. In fact, they both are, and I can't place why. The two make for a pretty picture as they dance in the center of the ballroom. Even the phantom crowd's attention stay on them. It reminds me so much of Hannah and I during the early days of our marriage, the honeymoon years they call it. We were happy then too, all smiles and her sunshine, even with the normal dreary weather. Younger, we had less to worry about, or at least thought that way. I thought and wished we could go that way, even with all that I did and had to do. But life has a way of catching up. There is work to be done. Although we had to stay the loving, perfect couple in public, I could not afford to look weak. To appear tied down to someone else to those who knew who I really am, I had to harden my heart when I have business. But I hadn't always been so easy to switch that part of me on and off. I should be concerned about their intrusion, too. Ask what the bloody hell they're doing in my house, throwing a party as if they own the place. Ask myself how the fuck I didn't notice what was going on here before, when the parlor and the foyer are both only a few doors away. But I have the feeling that yelling and screaming at them won't do much of anything anyway. None of the others have even given me notice. I realize that this may not even be real. It dawns on me that these two people are from the paintings, the ones all over the mansion. Which makes sense. I don't think I'm imaginative enough to make this up all on my own. This must be a dream, or a horrible high. And just then I can feel the eyes on me as I contemplate the absurdity of the situation. Yet I find difficulty in trying to tear my eyes away from the two dancing. I manage, and I regret looking away. Hi, honey! Hi, how are you? Why can't you look pretty again? Why can't you go back and actually talk to us like a normal human being and look nice, please? Because this is insane. What was the new one? Oh, the doll. The creepy doll. Got it. The woman from the garden stands beside me. I can hear her rattling breath and menacing, chilling. Everything in me screams to run, but something pins me to the spot as she just looks at me, watching and waiting. The clamor of their voices fill the ballroom. Although they say such welcoming words, I do not feel comforted by the madness I am experiencing. Their joyous voices turn sinister and foreboding to my ears. The chorus of people that shouldn't exist threaten to overwhelm me, drown me, even as I stand on dry land. The music still plays as the Phantom Quartet continues while I stand there, vulnerable and afraid, but the dance has already ended, and I'm afraid that it might just be tonight's entertainment. Attention is all well and good until bollocks like this goes down. These phantom people watch me, thousands of eyes scrutinizing, though they cheer for my return, cajole me to dance with them and join in the merriment. They are all eager, hands all over, pulling me in every direction, but they do not move me enough to remove them from the woman's gaze.
Listen. Can you not hear them as they welcome you home? Your kind, our kind. You're one of us, my love. We are bonded by the blood we share.
What freaking blood are you talking about? Like, for real, you crazy lady? What have all these other things have been? I don't know. I don't know, man. This is creepy. If I thought the voices were overwhelming before, it's nothing compared to how they are now. Their voices are loud, speaking in unison and echoing ever on in the spaces of my head. They welcome me back as if I've always belonged there, as if I was meant to be there in the first place. They call me all these titles and names that do not belong to me, and that man's face, the one with the empty eyes, flashes again before me. Once, fleetingly, like a new memory having burned itself in my mind. I have to struggle for air when I come back to myself after.
This isn't...
The welcomes turn to screams at my protest, pained and desperate pleas for my help, telling me that it's my duty to stay, telling me that I belong among them, to them. Gentle touches turn near threatening, the warning scratches and the baring of teeth by the predators before they turn to truly maim someone. My mouth goes dry as I struggle to speak some sense in the hallucinatory madness, but I don't get the chance as they drown out my voice. So is the prince's spirit not stuck here because he died before the rest of them died? Maybe? At her words, there is a compulsion to stay, though my heart races in my chest. The fear I should be experiencing refuses to register in my head. Mind and body war with each other, nearly tearing me in two.
You finally returned to us.
The compulsion to walk into her arms is strong. Whispers in my head tell me to go to her. They say that she is safety, she is home and heart.
We have been waiting for so long.
But repulsed at these thoughts, I wrench myself away and turn with a small gasp. Without hesitation, I start to make a run for it. I nearly falter when an angry shriek pierces the air, inhumane and monstrous. I don't dare look back. I just run. I didn't care if this drug-induced hallucination or not. I just run. Out of the ballroom. Out of the parlor. It's only then that I bother to look back, hoping and praying to the God I scorned that I did not pursue me. I would have run all the way out of the mansion too, if only someone didn't get in my way. I collide with a body much larger than mine and fall back to the ground, head spinning as I look at the stained glass. Do we run into Zach? Because it's about the time, right? Turning my head to the side replaces the colorful sight with a pair of shiny black shoes. Fatigue fills every inch of my being and making me refuse to get up. Meanwhile, oh no, it's Johann's. A familiar head of ginger looks down at me in bemusement.
You really must look where you're going if you insist on running about. Do tell, where is the fire?
Oh, thank God you're here.
I do hope you don't have a concussion. Can you count backwards from 15 to 1 for me?
Everyone does that.
Oh, fuck off, you wanker. Just help me up.
Wow.
I do not think insulting me if you do have a concussion is a smart decision. But no, really. 15 to 1.
That woman, she was here. I told you to keep an eye out for her.
The other man offers an arm and pulls me up to my feet then. But before I can storm off and pull him into the ballroom, he anchors me down with one hand on my shoulder and the other touching the back of my head.
No bruising or bump. That still does not mean that you don't have a concussion. If you are too lazy to count backwards, can you tell me your full name? Where are you currently?
We don't have... Lucille Mitchell Wright. And this is the Ermengarde bloody fucking foyer. But we don't have time for this.
You must make and have the time to make sure you are not broken in the head. I have already sent security to scour the whole house when I saw you running out of the parlor, Dummkopf. If the woman is here, they will have her. You will only be slowing them down if you plan to interfere.
When he points it out, I realize that there are guards starting to filter into the house as we speak, with some already searching the nearby rooms. Armed and uniformed men go about in pairs, making it so the house is a flurry of activity. He lets go of me then, with the knowledge that I'm going to keel over anytime soon.
I was hoping that you would be tired from dealing with the young miss on my return. Instead, you come running and hit your head. Such a troublesome boy. Shall I be carrying you to bed, too?
I can manage just fine on my own. Though I don't see how I can sleep until that woman is caught.
It'll be easier to keep you safe in your quarters. This is twice we've known the woman to break in. I think we can safely presume that you hold her interest.
He says it in a matter of fact in a tone that broke no argument. Not like I'll argue if it means I'm kept safe. Two of us hurry upstairs, though we remain watchful and wary of any potential threats to my person. We make it to the master bedroom without any trouble, though for the security are left outside the door. No problems at all. Not until we get inside. Johann's eyes scan the room wildly, and a look of dread is on his usually stoic face. I don't understand for a moment. Looking around the bedroom, it's empty. Then I realize, yeah.
She came home with you from the hospital, didn't she?
Yeah, we're catching up quickly to where we're going to meet up with the people.
She's supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I sent one of the maids to accompany her here, to let her rest.
I feel the color drain from my face when he raises a hand to stop me from charging out there.
Stay.
I'm not staying in here while Hana stays out there.
One of the guards will find her and bring her here.
And what if they don't? What if that woman gets to her first? What if she already has her?
That's not possible.
You can't promise that.
There's no second thought as I reach under my side of the bed and pull out one of my knives. I have no doubt that the other man can take me on if we're both unarmed. But with this, I can even the field or at least deter him from escalating the situation and risking hurting either of us.
I'm going out there to look for Hana. And you're either with me or you aren't. I'm not risking Hana, and I'm not leaving her alone.
Still, like a stubborn mule, he refuses to budge from the door. There's a withering look on him that I try to match. One that somehow I am losing fast to, even with him not saying a word yet.
Can you see yourself in the mirror right now? You are in no proper state to go looking for anyone. If it will make you happy, I will do the looking.
I think it'll make him very
But
happy.
please, and don't make me repeat this. Stay where it's safe, where security can find you. We already have one person to be worried about. Please don't add another one to it.
Perhaps it's his tone. In spite of his general disdain for virtually everything that has to do with me, I'd like to think that over the years he's grown to care for Hana at least. Much as I loathe to admit this, I'd trust him with her safety over any servant in this house. So, an
You have
acquiesce.
2 hours, Shirokin. I don't think it'll take that long to find one missing woman in this house. 2 hours. Any more than that, and I'm going out there.
Of course.
Course. Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure that I get in the damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I, a child, watching me and treating me like one? There's a reason. There's the reason why we never get
Well,
along.
What are you waiting for?
And the knife?
The knife stays.
Very well.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. With a nod, he leaves, locks the closed door behind him. For a moment, I still hear his voice while he gives the guards outside firm instructions, then a hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. As quickly as the silence settles, lightning flashes across the sky, followed immediately by the loud boom of thunder. And that wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. Power goes out not a second later, and I feel as if I'm being mocked by whatever greater power there is. All is deathly still for a moment, but soon the rain starts once again, far heavier than the light drizzle from this morning, and its pitter-patter hitting harder against this place roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap. I'm safe here, and Hana will be safe too. Shulkin will find her when I wake up. She'll be here. It does not take long. Once my head hits the pillow, in a matter of minutes, darkness claims me, bringing with it laughters and whispers of a twisted love from a time long ago. ...
Who are you? Stay away!
Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon.
Who was that voice? Who was that voice? Was that supposed to be the real prince? Yet in spite of the unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow and arduous process, difficult, every limb heavy with lead. No matter my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears or the sight of her horrid smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I am at their mercy. Beyond fathomable reason, my conscience refuses the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pits of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into the unknown depths. Somehow, even if I might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them.
Do not belong there, my prince.
Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course. The bed's more comfortable as it is. After an exhausting day yesterday, babysitting Kylie and the stress of finding an intruder in my own home, I think I deserve a little break. Every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. I can only be on the receiving end of so many unacceptable things within the span of a few hours, you know? As a gracious hostess in person I am, my patience has its limits too. So gracious. Although there's still the problem with Hana, I haven't forgotten about that, of course. That's why I hired Shulkin. He's competent enough, and he won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits who think that they can deceive me with sweet words. He's more than capable of working on his own without guidance. Let the butler take care of the little problem with Hana while Hana...
Do not need her. I am here. We are here. This is where your home is. And you belong. For the blood we share.
What blood? Come. Oh god, I skipped that one. How long has it been since? Johans has never taken this long before.
There should have been an update by now. Alright.
So why isn't there?
Please. Please don't go.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of bed? As it always has been the case? My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains. That's the last thing, so now we're here. Only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and loud boom of thunder that sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of wind will occasionally burst from the open balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. I must have left it open earlier before dozing off, the carpet and floor closest to it already drenched. Hannah's going to be cross once she sees this. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, it's the power outage we should be minding first. With the intruder still at large, steering through the darkness might be far more fatal than multiple stab wounds or a gunshot to the chest.
Oh, great, the power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
It's a storm, of course. I should have moved back to the penthouse to weather it in a much more comfortable setting. Already I can hear the creak and groans of this old place as the rain beats on the windows.
Has someone been sent to check the circuit breaker yet?
No answer. Silence.
Shrokin! Someone! Anyone?
Still nothing, and my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Those idiots when you need them.
It's really a wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? It can't be. I was only been a few hours after midnight, if the time on my wristwatch is anything to go by. Unless I've forgotten to change it again after the last overseas trip a month ago. Though the delay is understandable if he went looking for Hannah as he promised, but bloody hell, my safety's also at stake here. Cursing, I stay still, letting my eyes try to adjust to the darkness while my hands fumble for my slippers. If that butler isn't going to fix this, I may as well order the security posted outside to do it. It's probably just a blown-out fuse, and anyone with a brain can repair one. Grabbing my jacket and footwear finally on, I make for the door. Although in haste, I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eyes. One of my drawers underneath the clutter I've yet to organize, the muzzle of a gun peeks out. Hannah has never openly commented my possession of it, but I know she does not approve of it, knowing the bloody firearms policy in this nation. Yeah, it's bad in England. Of course, I've not found much use of it in the 7 years we've been together, otherwise she would have already had it thrown out years ago. Doesn't mean it wouldn't be useful right now. Without second thought, I seize it, sending the stuff piled above it to the floor. And whatever, I'll get it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first. Right next to my missing security detail, as it turns out.
Where did everyone go?
God damn it, Luke, he's too funny. There were 2 here, weren't there? Shogun had 2 blokes posted to stand guard at night. I might be panicking for a bit earlier, but I'm quite sure I didn't get delusional yet. What, did both of them decide to take a break because they think the master's already sound asleep and won't be looking for them? I know assassinations happen very rarely these days, and even less in the peaceful city like Luxborn, but bollocks! There's been a woman going in and out of this place uninvited who may or may not want to put a knife in my back. Isn't that enough reason to stay on alert? I'm fairly certain Shulkin wouldn't just enlist their help just for this power outage, only to leave me unprotected. We have a difficult friendship, so to speak, but I doubt that man is opportunist. I'm holding the lives of his family in my hands, after all. He knows what I'm capable of doing. He's not stupid enough to do anything that'll endanger them or save only himself. So where then? Only my footsteps echo along dark passage, and I'm left gripping the handle of my pistol for some sort of comfort. Without proper lighting, and with this storm still raging outside, the stories I've heard about this place seem to have some truth to it. Some. If I'm reaching and wish to entertain myself for a bit, I'll say there might also be ghosts whispering in my ears, calling. Of course, it's just the wind and trees rustling outside. Nothing good will come from allowing these thoughts to linger when problems are piling up in front of me one after another, especially with what greets me once I get to the foyer. Though it's dark, the large windows illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. There we go. And from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms, recognize them even. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come into my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones knew that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair. And if one of this Wog's sort is in it, I'm not surprised too. But Lily, the estate agent, she doesn't seem the sort. And Daisy too? What will Kylie think of her Miss Pink if the poor tyke finds out about this? Not to mention Mint. Hannah trusted her. I trusted her to be professional at the very very least, for fuck's sake. Top it all off, they have the nerve to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
It kinda is the beginning of a joke, let's be real. And there, just that one picture. Bloody trespassers, what is wrong with these people? Did they really think I'll be fine with walking into my home like this? What are they even doing in here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hannah's disappearance. They must have a motive. Yeah, this is why I didn't want to shoot him. And it better be a good one. Jesus, ghost lady. Our bullet to the head is the least all of them will deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, a real estate agent, an interior designer walk into a mansion.
Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time hits close enough that it nearly feels as if the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me, however, as I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing in the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting, with heavy rains outside and the lack of light here. I kinda like it, to be honest. Adds something to the atmosphere. I suppose I must look like the villain now. But short of me getting close to them, a noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movements while curiosity takes over every murmurs in my head. And it's a good thing, perhaps, that I did, because as soon as I look up, I see him. Another trespasser. Great. Just as he's about to jump down from the furniture that has somehow ended up piled up blocking the door to the parlor. What happened there? And did he really think it's alright to do that in other people's house? Lout. My hand's already moving before any rationale can stop me. Fingers firm at my gun when I finally release the safety from it to take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They are his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together? Doesn't matter. He won't let the people he cares about be harmed. My finger on the trigger is more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him. But more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. Lives are in my hand. His life is in my hand.
I know there will be a party in my own home tonight. I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hits the floor and he looks up. He's already a prey trapped by his own recklessness.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
It's a ghost literally whispering in your ear right now.
Well, obviously. Why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that'll bring negative attention to myself. Reputation and all that, I can't just risk it. The thought of having dead bodies here, ones that I'm not even responsible for, they're the ones who've trespassed. It's already quite too much. It'll literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time drawing his own gun at the slight wave of my own, even if he knows it's already too late. Still he glares at me. Still he fights back.
Now, Feathers. Manners.
Make a man.
You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There's no desperation in him like I'm hoping. Just an annoyance flickering shortly before being hidden underneath a challenge. The likes of him are the people that I hate the most. Even with their failures already glaring them down and mocking every worthless move they make, they have the impudence to stare people in the eye.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall. You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying most of the time, like a damn pest you can't be rid of. But to some degree, it is commendable. I'll give him that. After all, we're almost the same in that regard. Almost. I'm still the better person, of course. He tells me to put the gun down, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner, in defense of my own home, and I'd have the right, I'd like to think. Questionable permit of firearms aside. Yeah, it's not like I wanted this, but I'm already high-strung and their presence doesn't help. Bloody peasants. I can never seem to figure out how their minds fully work. He never called people peasants before. This is definitely the ghost in him. Take this one, for example. Despite his pride brimming in him how he matches my glare with one of his own, he simply lowers his pistol after a long second, not in surrender. The tense set in his shoulders tells me as much, but the closest he can get to lowering his own ego in favor of something I can't quite place. Interesting. Gotta admit, I'm almost disappointed. I've expected him to hold until one of us shoots the other. I can't say it'll be more exciting that way. A bullet inside any part of my body isn't something I'd like to have on a bad day like today, or any day for that matter. But I'll surely be predictable of him, and I'd like predictable. They are the kinds of people who are the easiest to deal with, no matter the situation. With them, there's no second guessing what to do. He shoots, I shoot, one of us dies, the other walks away. Nothing complicated. Nothing requiring much brain power, just muscle memory and who's the better shooter. End of story. Yet here he is, dragging a deep breath in and setting aside the only thing protecting him. I can easily shoot him this way and be done with this whole farce of a conversation. Instead, I find myself listening. A concession for a person who in another life would have also become the person I am today, had his circumstances allowed it. Damn shame. We might have gotten along.
Right. I need you to...
But alas...
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now.
Bad idea, though.
And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
A meeting of two prideful blokes will never go well, whichever lifetime it is. I can only laugh at his audacity, his lack of shame and fear, even facing the business end of my
You know what
pistol.
I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
The best of truth I can offer him. Not many people, those who have slighted me in particular, live to see it this long.
He should be grateful. You're already gracious enough, allowing him to stand in your presence like this.
This ghost wants to make me cringe so hard. Yes, especially when he has a lot to answer, preferably right now, because as generous as I have been so far, my patience has its limits. My amusement can only last for so long. In 2 steps, I'm standing in front of him, grabbing him by the collar and resting the cold muzzle of the eagle against his temple.
Ashton! Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
He'll end up a pretty smear on the wall this close. I forgot. So Rebecca has a better relationship with Luke, which is why Rebecca called out Luke. I'm surprised Marianne didn't say anything. It was Ash with Marianne. They're just the same. You'd think Marianne would have at least said, like, Luke, stop? Stop.
Teach this loud a lesson.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the second time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me? Or has somebody paid you off to kill me?
Totally.
Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to meet the business end of this gun.
And he knows it. Of course he does. Hitmen or not, no, he has been trained, judging purely from his stance. But not many bother to be as cautious as him. One glimpse at my handgun's safety earlier is all it took for him to see I mean business. Similar. Too similar. We're too alike in so many little ways it's funny. Down to the fact that he doesn't even flinch, no matter how heavy the threats in my words are. Even knowing how one flick of my finger on the trigger will be enough to end his sorry life, he should have caved by now, started begging like so many others before him. Instead he throws more vitriol, adds more kindling to a fire already
I'm not
burning.
With NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Igniting it further, that I can't help but return it to him with equal fervor. We don't... No, wait, she's supposed to say that. We don't need him, my love.
You insolent!
We both decide to move in that moment, both of our bodies tensing, each of us racing to get ahead of the other. However, before we can get a head start, a voice unexpectedly rings above the chaos about to ensue.
Help me. Please.
Please. Where are we? Oh boy. I went through some stuff here. This is interesting. Interesting. I missed that. A lot more, and a lot more stuff, and a lot more stuff. We are here. Well, we still have quite a way that this could play out, but I feel like we're going to be hitting a lot of these pretty fast. I've always been cautious and careful, cutting off trouble's head before things can escalate if I'm able to. That's why I deal with the likes of Harvey, Suarez, and Johans. For all who we are, for all the enemies the likes of us can make, such a thing has never happened before, because I do everything to make sure it doesn't. So to see Hannah in danger, I don't quite know how to feel or what to do. Of all the times for there to be a hostage situation, if this is even one, why now? Good fucking God, what is going on here?
Help me. Please. Please make it stop.
I think death would be preferable if my sense of self-preservation was shot to high hell. It would deprive me of choice and end the responsibility in the matter. I don't want to think about how fast my heart beats so that I hardly hear anything other than my own heartbeat and her pleading.
Please. They're in my head. Screaming. It hurts so much.
What do I do? What can anyone do against something holding your life in their hands? With a woman that looks more like a monster than a man. When the woman's expression turns into one of amusement and her laughter fills the air, I want to call her out on it. There's rage simmering just beneath my skin. But my own scream dies in my throat. All I'm able to muster is a pathetic croak. She laughs as if this is all some sick joke. My breathing becomes a bit too shallow for my liking, and I feel like I'm on a precipice where one wrong move can lead to someone dying. This is crazy. All of it.
Luke, help me, please. I can't.
And something in me snaps. There's a twitch in my head that wants to go one way or the other. Oh my god. Oh my god. What? Ah! I saved, right? Okay, that one up. Please don't kill her. Please don't kill her, Ghost! I beg for mercy! I beg for mercy. What am I doing? Why am I even hesitating? I won't go so far as to claim that I'm any sort of decent human being, but this is Hannah, my wife I'm talking about here. What sort of husband, what sort of father would I be if I just stood by idly while she was in danger? That doesn't change the fact that this is all fucking insane, of course. Having all these intruders is crazy, and to think about going at this thing is crazy. I can hardly classify it as a person in my eyes. Perhaps a maggot that needs to be crushed under my shoe, just like the rest of this sorry lot, but a person? Hardly. But I care for none of it, and they don't matter. All that matters is Hannah and my children are in danger. But the cold pours over me, freezes me in place once more when I try to make demands. I have to take deep breaths and grit my teeth to steel my fist to even find the courage to speak up.
Let go of her! Don't hurt her! Whatever it is you want! Just don't you dare hurt her!
And if my voice isn't as firm as I'd like, it doesn't matter. I will beg and plead if I have to. On my knees, bend my fucking proud neck, and maybe even break it just to make sure she's safe. It's not her life that's in danger. Our children's lives are on the line, even mine, perhaps, because I don't know what I'd do if anything were to happen to Hannah. I will plead for the woman who will be the mother of my children. The cold stillness is gone from my body, and my very skin feels like it's on fire. And I have to shout and scream at her when Hannah continues to cry out in
What
pain.
do you want? Money? Is that it? I'll give you however much you want.
Luke, please make it stop. I want it to stop.
Just stop whatever it is you're doing to her. Can't you see she's hurting?
I cannot stand for
Let go
this.
of her. Now!
Uh-oh. I say it with such ridiculous conviction, and of course she won't listen. Why would she? She has the upper hand here. There is no reason for her to do as I ask, but her voice is but a whisper and deathly slow, and I'm hard-pressed to hear it over the pounding of my heart in my ears. She speaks, the woman from the gardens, and the servant girl from the ballroom, from the hallucination, visions, memories, whatever they were. A hush settles over the room as we listen.
Do you really wish to be with her?
There are no second
More than
thoughts.
anything. So please, let her go.
A life for a life? What did I just do? Though her expression doesn't change, I have this most awful feeling that it wasn't the answer she was looking for. I can see how the woman fingers how the woman's fingers, that grammar, tighten around Hannah's throat and hear the hitch in her breath, and I fear that I've made the worst decision in speaking out. I didn't think she would listen, and yet she does. A hand on Hannah's back sends her falling down the stairs. I move to catch her, and that sends us both sprawling at the foot of the stairs. With my back to the ground and her on top of me, the pain doesn't even register in my head. All I can worry about is Hannah and the baby's well-being as I pull the both of us to the ground and away from the stairs, away from her.
Hannah, are you hurt?
It takes much too long for my liking before she speaks. All she's able to do for a moment is whimper in pain, a hand to her throat. And when she does manage to speak, her voice is far too faint with the hold she has on my arm. It's terrifying to see her like this and to think I nearly lost her.
We are fine, Luke. I'm sorry. Just give me a moment.
For a moment we forget, but
We deserve each other.
just hearing her voice triggers something in Hannah and she starts to tear up. Her face contorts into one of pain and fear, but I grab her by the shoulders to keep her in place so that she can see me and only me, and so that I can only see her too.
Hannah, look, I'm here. You're safe. I won't let her hurt you again. Do you understand? Just breathe.
I don't know what exactly in bloody hell is going on, yet I can't find it in me to care. Whoever these people are and whatever they're here for. These are not acceptable conditions for a pregnant woman. Not at all. For all I know, this is all some dumb charade to get to me. All the times that I have seen the woman before, it could have been an act to get to me, to get under my skin. And to think that they dare hurt Hannah, for all the fear that I had felt seeing her touch Hannah, I can only think of her as an actress in grotesque makeup. My hand still shakes, the fear not having quite gone, but anger fills me as I look at the woman, a sneer on my face.
How dare you! I don't care who you are, but how dare you touch Hannah! I want you out of my house, out before I call the police and have you put away for the rest of your miserable life!
Yeah, you have to get out of the house, though.
And that goes for all of you!
I hold my ground, firm and strong with my declaration. But the nerve of her, she just laughs in my face. A terrible, dreadful laugh that makes me feel as if there are ants crawling on my skin and maggots are squirming into my ears.
You're telling me to get out of your house.
It sounded like Pink for a
You
second.
threatened to lock me up.
Or no, Hannah. She laughs and
What's so
she
funny?
laughs.
What are you laughing at? None of this is funny!
But she persists, and it almost feels like her voice is in my head.
No different. No different. You're all the same. You can all suffer together.
And that's when everything turns to complete and utter shite. Look at that! The whole crew is here! The whole gang is here, guys! Little Zach. Big Zach is like, what the fuck, dude? I'll punch you, but not really. It's a slow thing. I whisper more than a bang as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room. I love how Marianne's like dying over there. She's like, guys, I'm really starving. The walls shudder and groan. Blood runs from the ceiling, crawls down the walls and stains the floor, and feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house, slowly but surely. The beauty of this place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of the mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it's just the foyer that's become this nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling thunders and the lashes of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound, a cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere echoing throughout the now horrid walls. Voices that neither belong to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane. Even Daisy, feisty woman she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lily while Steel and Feathers... Steel? Is Steel supposed to be Zach? Oh yeah, he's Zachary Steel. And Feathers stand protectively in front of the two. Brave of them, I have to admit, to put themselves on the front line like that. Though it doesn't necessarily mean they don't feel the same fear as the rest of us. Something I don't blame them for. There seems to be no end in sight to this insanity. If anything, it feels like it's just the beginning of the end.
Oh my god, please, somebody, anybody! Who are you? Stay away!
No, no, no. Stay away. Stay away.
Is that Johans? Their screams fill the mansion. Did she fucking kill Johans? Last we know, Ash left Johans in the in the attic, which I said would be bad because, you know, he locked him to a bed. Did Johans get killed? She laughs for all the while, a harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Until there's nothing but silence, and her horrid smile, pale hands reaching out to me. Where are we? What are we doing? Do I have a QTE coming up? What's happening here? Possibly. Because I need to stop. I think I'm just going to stop here. Which is a really weird place to stop because of the background music, all intense like. But yeah, I'll be back again tomorrow. Again, 3 p.m. Eastern-ish. Pardon my stretching. And hopefully we can finish this. I don't know. Let me double check the branching tree one more time. I don't think we're going to finish this. So this might be like a 3-part finale. So tomorrow is Thursday. So Friday. Hopefully I can finish it by Friday. I should be able to by Friday. And then, what's it called? Sunday, new game. New game for Halloween in my Halloween costume. So thank you guys, everyone who's watching. I see the lurkers. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Hopefully we can finish this tomorrow or Friday. Until then, bye guys!